How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to, I guess, part 2 of our list.
Part 2.
Yep, so going right back into it. So, did I choose last time?
I
don't remember.
No, it's my turn, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't remember.
So,
Oh.
Foul Crate, Bird Box.
Foul Crate? Okay. I kind of have an idea. What do you?
Okay.
Same, but I was gonna go with very okay.
Oh, that's so accurate, though. Okay.
Very okay.
Very okay.
Oh, man. So, this pretty much took the world by storm in December.
Yep.
For some reason. Again, because it's like, I mean, not to knock Netflix, but as far as movie standards go, yeah, it's on the better list of Netflix movies.
It is among the better.
Yeah, it is among the better.
Movies, but
at the same time, it's just okay.
It's just okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the beginning is so shocking. It kind of grips you and you're like, oh, I gotta see what happens next. But, like, part of the way through gets kind of dull and predictable.
It does.
Boring.
And then makes choices that you just don't like. Like,
yeah.
I remember we kind of, like, saw it in the span of, like, 2 days. Because then we kind of just stopped it. And then we just kept going. And then we were just like, oh, my God. We gotta see what happens next.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did. And really kind of wish I didn't.
Yeah. It's just... well, I mean, so spoilers for it. And I do feel like actually doing a spoiler pause because this just came out a few days ago.
This is true, yeah, spoilers.
So, obviously they get to a point where I feel like they just had to kill off half the cast. And they just do it in the span of like 2 minutes. And again, my type of apocalypse fiction, I really like the idea of, you know, we actually have to band together if this sort of thing happens. That's who humans are. That's our nature. So essentially when we're punished for letting a person in or helping a person survive, that to me, I never love that plot because it's almost a tad like xenophobic, right? Like it's, don't let that outsider in or they're gonna kill us all.
Oh my God.
Right? Like it has a vibe to it that I'm just not a huge fan of.
Yeah, it does. There's like a lot of things. And on top of that, even if you decided that you wanted to kill most of the cast, and if you're going to go for like a 5-year flashback difference, how the hell are most of these flashbacks within the span of a couple months? And then, like, it spans into 5 years later. Instead of, like, deciding to go into this thing, like, maybe just, when you flash back, just kind of go little by little. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
odd.
Not too much of a fan of that.
Yeah, I didn't like how they killed off the Tom character. Like, that we were so out at that point. We almost turned it off.
Yeah, because, like, what was it? We were kind of hoping, like, oh, you know... Again, spoiler alert, because, you know, later on, they're trying to go down the river, and obviously she was with Tom. And, you know, we were thinking, okay, maybe he just goes ahead to make sure it's okay, but we never know what happens to him.
And of course, I mean, it really does feel like the long-running trope of killing off the black man in a horror film, and it's like, why? It's 2018, we don't, maybe be original for once. It wouldn't hurt you to be original for once, right?
Yeah, like, you're just gonna play the sacrifice role. And on top of that, apparently, if you have any sort of mental condition, you can watch whatever the hell's going on, and you're a bad guy.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, so
more fun tropes to have in 2018.
Yeah, so
So Foul Crate.
Yeah.
Also, and this is like maybe the biggest spoiler of all, so watch this one. But so Foul Crate. How did all 3 fowls survive in the crate? Like, I'm just saying, like,
how did they
literally, like, they were, like, underwater, and they were, like, jostling this box, and all 3 birds survived. Like, how did that happen?
I think I saw a review of, like, they did everything save for literally exploding the box, and yet somehow these 6 survived.
And these 3 birds still live. I mean,
oh my God, yeah. And, like, you know, they're
that's amazing.
Out of the 3 movies, the one you can't see, the one you can't hear, the one you can't speak, Hush, A Quiet Place, and Bird Box. If you're required to watch 2 and not 1, I'd probably say the other 2.
Harsh, but I like it.
Like, you know, it's not bad. And then, like, once we got, like, to the other part of the ending, we're like, okay.
Yeah, it ended alright. Like,
yeah, it
ended
pretty
wasn't terrible. And there's some ones in here. We'll talk about some bad endings. But,
oh my God. Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's just okay. What do we got? Oh, I almost chose 2. Okay, what's this one? This one is The Devil's Door.
Did you forget what that one was?
I might have forgotten what that
one was.
Oh,
no. Okay, that's the Netflix found footage film. Or at least we saw it on Netflix.
Oh,
I don't think it was Netflix.
It was the two priests, right?
Yes.
They were going into okay.
So it's dealing with again the Irish history of
Right, they're Irish too.
how the Catholic Church essentially forced women who were pregnant to go to these homes, and often they didn't survive, and often their babies didn't survive. And it's really, again, dealing with that history. And again, it could have been exploitation, but I think it actually...
I'm going to go with... What do you think?
I would go with simply...
Simply good?
Simply good.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think it's the most effective found footage film out there. I think I've seen found footage done much better. But there were genuine scares, and I think the fact that they are dealing with such a heavy topic, again, it's one of those topics that I don't think drama can touch it yet. So horror is the first genre that's actually able to deal with this tradition and deal with these issues. So
I like that. Yeah, I like to say more, but I did honestly forget a little bit of it. But I did remember very much enjoying it because I don't know why I always partially look at this and I'm just like, this probably could suck. And then just to be pleasantly surprised.
Right.
So, you know.
I mean, you're like, oh gosh, this could be really bad. But yeah, I mean, if you like female-directed horror, I do believe she's Irish, so I mean, outside the U.S., like, there's a lot
There you go.
cool stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna pick a new one.
Yep, let's see. What we got?
Let's see. Venom! I'm Tom Hardy, my boy!
Venom.
Very good.
Very good. Oh, you go.
Bad.
Very good, bad. Very good, bad. Oh, yeah, because on a filmic level, as far as being made, it sucks.
You should also check out our Venom review.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice plug. But as far as it just being enjoyable, God, it's so damn fun to look at.
It's so memeable. I mean,
It's so
these are going to
memeable.
be memes for years.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like, the narrative ways things went around, it just didn't make sense to the point where it was just really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, even some parts where I don't think they meant it for it to be funny, it just was.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
It's just this big goofy smile on my face the whole time. Just check out the Venom review. We
Yeah.
definitely go in more depth there.
Definitely.
But wow, what a gem! What
yeah.
an absolute gem!
And what luck, they're gonna make a sequel. So, you know, we'll get to see more of it, and it's great.
I can't wait.
I'm excited. It's gonna be great. Okay, let's see what we got here.
Let's see what we got here.
All right.
What do we
Let's see.
have?
What do we have?
Oh no!
And now we have The Nun.
Let's see.
Yeah.
None for me. I will have none of this.
For some reason, I actually saw this movie twice.
Oh, you poor soul.
I know. We saw it because we were hoping. I remember the thought.
Boy.
We were going in because we were thinking, man, The Nun, well, at least for me, The Nun was like one of the scariest things in The Conjuring 2.
Right? The Nun's
I'm like,
terrifying.
this is so exciting. And then we saw it and then we're like, oh,
Yeah.
what happened?
So they overuse her for one thing.
Constantly.
I mean, again,
Yeah.
you know, if half the thought was like, oh, we don't really see her very much, so she's mysterious and scary. Like,
Yep.
they kill that. She's
Yeah.
just everywhere in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's just a lot of silly choices.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, we were talking about the Devil's Door film, which actually deals with some of the darker elements of the Catholic Church, and really deals with a complex and hard to wrestle with history.
Yep.
This film decided to do none of that. I mean, halfway through the film,
None of that.
our main character decides to just become a nun.
So they ended up toying with this idea of maybe, it looked like in the beginning, that they were toying with this idea of maybe the nun, being a nun or something like that is not the greatest thing. The main character, she questions the idea of what a nun is. And like the climax of the movie, she somehow just decides, you know what, this is how to do it. I need to be a nun to stop the nun. And they stop everything. And for some reason, the nun, this is going to get confusing, the nun monster, I guess, the demon, just doesn't attack them at all while they're doing this ritual.
It's such a mess.
It's, you know, and then
The plot's a mess.
the second time I watched this was with my parents and we were kind of drunk.
Oh boy.
That made it kind of funny.
I'm sure it made it funny. I just remember out of nowhere, so this is a spoiler, but I don't know if you'd care because it's just so great. Like, she has the water in her mouth, and like that's how she defeats the nun. She just like spits water at the nun.
Was it? No, it was the blood. It was Jesus' blood.
Oh no, it wasn't even water. It was Jesus' blood.
It was the blood of Christ. And there was a lot more of it.
Jesus. I'm sorry for this film. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So it sucked.
It's just bad.
So
I kind of want to see it again, just to laugh at it the whole time.
It's really cool, especially with a couple drinks.
Yeah, I mean.
Don't pay for it though.
I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
Definitely not paying for it.
Definitely not paying for it. So.
All right. Well,
we're just gonna move on now.
My turn to.
I guess. I think.
I don't remember. I forget.
I don't remember. It's fine.
The Cloverfield Paradox.
Wow, 2 for 2. So we're gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna.
Yes.
Bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I feel like I didn't hate it when we first saw it.
I didn't hate it the first time, but I feel like I was working very hard not to hate it.
Yeah, that's the thing, and also I do not remember for the life of me what happened.
Oh gosh, so this woman. They're running out of resources on Earth, something like that. I forget.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what it is, and like this team is trying to help them have enough Earth resources. And the idea is that 2 worlds merge. So you're like, oh, all this weird stuff's gonna happen. It's not weird. Like, I think the most weird thing was like there was maybe an arm that was crawling on its own. That's like B-movie level.
Oh yeah,
weird.
there was
That's not weird.
Well, they also started dying for no reason, kind of.
That's not weird. That's a
not that
slasher.
weird. Yeah, but also like I guess on their Earth, somehow that made the Cloverfield monster show up.
I don't know. I really think there's a way to save it, and again, it would have been to actually make this kind of be a bit surreal and have really weird and uncomfortable things happening, and I don't know if their budget got slashed and they couldn't do anything interesting or what, but I mean, again, it really did a disservice because there were some very good actors in there, and you're like, oh, let's see them do some really good acting work, and they do it, and then just for a bad story, and that's disappointing.
It also did the thing of like a friend suddenly became the bad guy.
Yeah, it did have a twist villain. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so a lot of
sad.
things not going for it. Out of the Cloverfield movies, you're probably better off watching A Quiet Place and pretending it was a Cloverfield movie.
That's accurate.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty accurate.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that. All right, you can be choosy.
Here we go. What's this guy? This is another one you saw.
One of the ones I saw. Okay.
Thoroughbreds.
Thoroughbreds. Yeah. So Thoroughbreds is definitely a very, very good. Wait. Very good. I got this. I'm capable of doing this. It's a very good film. Again, it's dealing with this idea of female friendship and the ways that it can save your life and the ways that it can destroy your life, and maybe a little bit of each at the same time. It's just a really good psychological, I don't even know if I'd call it a thriller. It's an odd film, and it kind of broke my heart. Like, I feel like finishing it, I was just like, oh, that hit me in very personal places. So I don't know if you like female-driven films with some murder, mayhem, and heart. I would recommend this one. Actually, I don't know if I'd say there was much mayhem, but definitely murder. Definitely murder. It's good. It's worth checking out.
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
I'm gonna go with no. Oh no.
I don't have any alcohol present.
So it's called Seven Guardians of the Tomb. And it is, by far, we needed a second very bad.
Oh God.
Very bad.
So, what happened?
Giant spiders.
That,
they were in
fire
a desert.
twisters?
Fire twisters, yes.
Weird tomb traps.
I
don't remember because I fell asleep sometimes.
It was really one of the worst. Like, I'd say most bad horror movies at least have some sort of, like,
Was
fun
it a horror
element.
movie? I thought it was trying to be like The Mummy.
Oh, maybe more like Indiana Jones?
Which is an insult to anything like that.
It's an insult to movies. It's an insult to spiders.
I mean, really. For the year of spiders, this was rude.
Just rude.
It's just mean, and we saw it, and it has the text of Guardians of the Galaxy, because of course it would. I don't even know who were they the Guardians? They weren't guarding anything.
I've
Half of
seen
them
it
died.
titled Guardians of the Tomb and also 7 Guardians of the Tomb. I'm not even sure what this movie's called. Like, oh, it's so bad.
It's just bad. Just don't.
Don't see it.
Just don't.
I don't recommend seeing
just
it.
don't. Just.
If you like some bad movies, I can recommend them to you. Have you seen Food Fight?
Yeah.
See that one.
There you go.
Don't see this one.
Don't. Just
Bad.
don't. It's for the best.
All right.
It's for the best. I need something to wash my mouth from that one.
Better be a good one.
See, there we go.
Annihilation.
Annihilation. There we go. I got this one.
Very excellent.
Very excellent.
So not just excellent.
Very excellent. And I actually got to see it again.
Yeah, I need to see it again.
So
But it's very heavy.
Yeah,
So.
it's a very heavy film. Deals with a lot of every one of the characters goes through a lot, and what they do kind of depicts it differently.
Yeah,
like everything
so
they face.
The idea, of course, being that there is this strange phenomenon. It's called the Shimmer, and they've been sending team after team into the Shimmer to try to figure out what this thing is and hopefully destroy it before it creeps out and destroys our entire world. None of those teams are coming back, and the presumption being that they are all dead. Things are weird in the Shimmer. This is a very weird movie. So they decide to send in a team of 5 women. They are not military women. They are really more of a scientific background. So really switching up their entire approach. And things get weird. Again, it's the idea that anyone who would take this sort of mission probably is dealing with a lot, probably depressed, probably trying to figure out things about life and death. So, I mean, again, to put characters in this situation, it results in an absolutely fascinating woman-driven film.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend it to people who like horror films, women-driven films, and
Sci-fi
weird
films.
movies.
Yeah.
Weird movies. I love weird movies. So
It's
this one,
wonderful.
my heart.
And you forgot one of the reasons they came back was because Oscar Isaac's character came back.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But-
Oscar Isaac's character does
Yeah.
emerge from the Shimmer.
Yeah. So it gets weird, but
It's weird.
it's really cool. There's just some things you pick up. Even like when my parents were seeing it downstairs at one point, I started picking up on a couple of different things. But like it's just really beautiful to look at. It's a gorgeous movie, and the soundtrack is haunting.
Yes.
So good.
So this was definitely, I'd say, my film of the year, and we still gotta get to your film of the year.
Oh yeah.
That's
be a
gonna
little
get in
bit.
there. We're only nominating 2 for very excellent.
Yeah.
So that was my pick.
Yep.
And your pick will be coming up.
Yeah, it'll come up
We'll
eventually.
be talking about that
Yeah.
one.
So
Good stuff.
okay. Wait, who chose again?
It's your turn. Oh, wait. I don't know.
I'm gonna put my hand.
Do it.
I'm gonna put my hand in the helmet and figure it out.
Go
We'll
for
go
it.
from there. Halloween.
Okay.
Okay.
Halloween. So
feel
not
like-
the original Halloween.
Yeah.
The one that came out this year.
Yeah, this Halloween. I feel like every time I pick out a movie and you see my face, you'd figure out how I feel about it.
You're saying you're predictable?
I might be. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This is okay.
Just okay.
It's okay. Like, I kind of tricked myself into liking it the first time I saw it.
That's
I
fair.
thought it was pretty neat. But then kind of the second time around, I really didn't have too much of an intensity whenever, like, Michael Myers came around. Like, there are things I very much liked about it. And then there were, like, kind of other aspects toying with this kind of idea of Michael Myers not being the monster that he is and has to do with something psychological for some reason. Not a fan. Like, when I first saw it, I skipped out on the beginning. When they were in this mental institution, that's actually why I liked it a little better. Because I saw
the
none of
beginning
that.
is awful. It's
Yeah.
one of the worst beginnings of a film this entire year.
Yeah.
And we've already talked about that 7 Guardians of the Tomb where the whole film was the worst.
Yeah.
Everything in the film this entire year. So, I mean, it's just amazing to me that you can make a horror film without any tension. Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
I've ever seen that happen before. It's maybe the least tense film ever.
Yeah.
And I think part of it's because it's predictable. We already know the whole formula of Halloween.
Yeah.
And also because, I don't know, they just didn't do this one as well as they could have.
Which is a bummer because I really like the way they dealt with the original woman from like the first movie and like how she kind of reacted to the whole thing.
Exactly.
Though it does also beg to the question why the hell the town didn't react this way.
It's amazing to see how the police seem to have no clue, like, what's going on at first. Or no, I'll tell you what it is. There's a moment where the police officer's like, what can we do? Cancel Halloween? I mean, okay, let's talk
maybe.
about our world. We have never actually had a trick-or-treater die by poisoned candy that was not, say, their own family, right? We have had kids who have eaten poisoned Halloween candy and died, but unfortunately it was a lot closer to home. It was a father committing a horrible crime, or a child getting into something that they shouldn't, and then they blamed it on the Halloween candy. And that's horrible, and our world has reacted accordingly. Because of that, we have trunk-or-treats. Parents don't let their kids trick-or-treat alone for the most part. I mean, you're really probably going to be in middle school when you start trick-or-treating alone. And yet, this world where... the city where there was a murder on Halloween, the babysitter murders, we see no effect of that. Nothing has changed. The kids still trick-or-treat on their own. Like, it didn't even look like our world, let alone what a world should have looked like after the events of Halloween.
So, that's a bummer. Again, some good things about it. Like, I did like some of the deaths. They were pretty great. Especially, like... the one that Michael made look like a jack-o'-lantern.
Yes!
And it was just like a dude's
was a
hollowed
good
out
one.
head. That was freaking great.
That's
And
freaky.
mortifying. So, like, good elements to it. It's just that there are other things that we had issues with that didn't kind of, like, step it up from there.
Exactly.
So...
And again, I think it, Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm proud of her, like, raking in all this money opening weekend, but I just feel like she needed a better film. Like,
yeah.
Again... I thought her character was good. I didn't necessarily like the other 2 women in her family's characters. I didn't think they were very interesting.
Yeah.
And that's pretty bad sin if your whole entire film is like, look at these 3 generations of awesome women, and like the other 2 are kind of like cookie cutter characters. That was cold. I'm sorry.
That was cold. You're great. Okay, well, that's about that.
That's about that.
That's about that. Okay.
What did I grab? I don't want to talk about that one. It was one that he hasn't seen. I'm just noping out. Ooh, but here's one I haven't seen.
That's the one I saw.
Okay, let's see that one. Ooh.
Okay, it was The Predator.
So the Predator. Okay, apparently.
Yeah, it's okay. What can I say about it? It's just weird. The Predator, that really cool action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The Predator.
And, it had that really awesome meme of, like, really huge muscular arms, like, clasping in solidarity. But it still ended up being, like, a very big thriller and horror movie. This one kind of felt like almost a weird, out-of-place MCU movie, but, like, pre-First Avengers MCU movie. Ooh. So, like, it for some reason, it cracked off a whole lot of jokes. It had like this really weird kind of fun vibe to it, which is fine and all, but it's also a Predator movie, which it just felt too weird. And then at the same time, they needed to curse as much as they could too. So I thought that was odd. And then there's always something that I judge harshly when the antagonist is not just the Predator, but also bigger Predator. It's just, the pacing felt odd to me. The feel of it felt very odd to me. It just didn't fit. And it's a weird thing to say, because anything, if they do it correctly, can evolve and turn into something else. Like God of War had a very huge change in 2018, and it was beautifully crafted and well made. Star Wars has changes, and it can be controversial, but in our opinion, beautifully crafted and well made. This, not so much. Nah, I didn't feel it. So, it's just... It was weird. Oh yeah, and then the super suit is a secret ending. They got Iron Man suit. So maybe there'll be a sequel. Did it even do well?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe we'll be reviewing another one someday.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, that's my review of this one. It was okay. I don't feel like saying it again, though. That's it. That might very uninteresting answer.
That's okay. All right.
Okay. Oh, this one was you.
Ooh, okay.
This one was you.
So, you were never really here.
I really want to see this one.
You need to see this one.
I really want to see this one.
I'm gonna go with. Oh, I'm kind of torn, but I like weird movies, so I'm gonna go with the very good. This one's really heavy, so I definitely don't know if I'd recommend this one for everybody. Again, it is about this veteran who essentially his job is to go around and recover victims who have been trafficked or kidnapped. And it really goes into the whole question of whether it's right to be doing this work, what it means to do this work, what the psychological effects of doing this work would be, and really kind of grapples with all of that. And it's very heavy and very intense, but there's just so many really interesting scenes. It's very artsy. So if, I don't know if everybody will like that artsy angle, but I thought it was interesting. Like, every moment of this film was very interesting, and to me that's a very good movie. But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, can't go with that. He's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
So.
And definitely dealing with mental illness and heavy themes, so definitely exercise caution. The ending is very, like, kind of a startle heavy, so I would definitely recommend anyone exercise caution with this one, but I recommend it.
Okay. Didn't I choose that one?
Oh. My turn. Okay, let's see what we got. What we got? Overlord!
Oh.
Ah!
Oof. That.
Excellent!
Oh my gosh. It's like the greatest video game movie I've ever seen, if they ever made a Wolfenstein movie.
Right.
It was so freaking good, you know? And then, like, it kind of... I can't even say it was like a horror, but like when it really kind of got to like why this town is weird or what exactly the Nazis are doing in this town, it really gets into it, and I very much enjoyed that. It also was probably, which is weird for me to say, one of the most realistic depictions of how people probably felt in World War II when they were in World War II.
Yeah, it's very realistic war depiction, which is interesting, which I feel like is interesting because, again, then you have more unrealistic elements of supernatural. So I think that works very well because, again, it creates this idea that this really could be real, right? So if we go into the beginning thinking, oh gosh, yeah, this is pretty authentic, then when the weird stuff happens, we're still in that authentic mind frame. It creates a really interesting film. I thought it was very scary. I mean, it's...
Oh yeah, it was freaky.
It's scary.
It had really... There was one particular part of like a kind of a transformation scene that was freaky.
Oh,
it was really good. So, but I kind of feel bad. It was kind of under the woodwork there.
It was. It really deserved a lot more love, a lot more credit.
Really, really good, and definitely recommend checking that out. And again, another movie you could say was a Cloverfield movie, and not be Cloverfield Paradox.
This will really just any good movies with like monster alien mayhem, you could just be like, yeah, Cloverfield.
Yeah, there you go. So that works. Let's see what we got here. This one's gonna be a better one. Avengers: Infinity War.
Infinity War.
All right, so I know we both have different opinions on this one.
I'll let you pick a.
For me, I'm gonna say this.
No, you're not. Wait. There you go.
Very Duke.
Very
good.
All right. For me, I'm just gonna say good.
Okay. I actually thought you were gonna go for another one.
I'm not gonna go that harsh on this.
Right.
I did enjoy a lot of this movie. I think it's. I think they juggled the big cast pretty well, or at least as well as I think they could have. There definitely were points where I felt like I was more invested in the story than others, but again, any large cast film, that's always going to be the case. I'm just always going to be worried about Tony Stark, but I mean, that's just my perpetual state of worry about Tony Stark.
It's a very intensely heavy movie. That's like the thing. That's like the biggest thing about this. It's intensely heavy, and it gets kind of really harsh at certain points. Yeah,
and I mean, I really go to superhero movies more for the goofy fun of it, or for kind of getting to know the characters, see them take on those personas and roles. So definitely, I mean, I don't know if I was going for this sort of heavy drama, so not really my vibe, not really what I love when I see a superhero movie. I mean,
I understand that.
So it depends.
Yeah, because I was really into it. But yeah, I totally get what you mean too.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler at this point, but I really was very upset to the point I made jokes about walking out when Gamora died. And I know I know that's maybe a little heavy, but to me, I think, again, the idea of Thanos having to sacrifice someone he loves and it being her, he's abused her entire life. He doesn't love her, and I think to write the universe in that way, I just think that's some harmful tropes. It really disgusted me, actually. And again, these are writers I typically enjoy seeing their work, and I will watch movies that they write in the future, but I'm gonna just say that wasn't okay.
Hashtag Thanos did everything wrong.
Exactly.
So,
there we go.
So, hopefully, we're still both very excited for Endgame.
Yeah.
Because we want to see that purple plum die. But yeah.
I want to see Gamora come back. So
That's it.
Let's hope for the best.
And Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man.
And for Tony Stark to not die, but that might happen.
Oh, Tony.
Anyway, we're just gonna move on now.
Whatever. Mandy!
Oh man, we saw this one a couple of days ago.
We saw this one, a couple days ago.
Oh man, this one was really weird.
Oh yeah, it was really weird.
So this one was mine. That's good. And for you...
Very good.
There we go.
Okay.
And I feel really bad because like when you told me it was a weird movie, I was expecting, because it's a Nick Cage movie. And weird and Nick Cage, part of me, and it's bad of me, but part of me was expecting, him in a cage full of bees weird. Not a weird movie, but in a serious sense. Yeah,
it's very heavy. And I almost might reduce it to good, just because, again, reading the plot description, I was like, I'm not going to enjoy this movie in some ways. Because, again, it is the idea of a man being motivated on by the death of his wife. And I don't think that's even a spoiler. That's literally the central conceit of the film.
It took like an hour to get there, too.
Yeah, which made me like it more. And also the fact that I guess the one thing I will say about it is, though, if you're gonna do a plot like that, at least do it in a horror film where you actually capture the horror of it, and don't just make the woman a tool of, the protagonist's further development and betterment of him being a person. So, I mean, if I'm gonna compare this to Deadpool 2, I think this one did a lot better.
Oh, I agree. And I do gotta say, their soundtrack is also very great. And the colors that they use, the cinematography, also great. Like, it's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful, weird movie. But, it's just there were certain parts of the plot for me, I was kind of in, and also not in. And the dialogue, I was partially not in, personally.
That's fair.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of weird movies, you'll probably think it's the best movie of the year. And I won't blame you for that.
Yeah.
I heard Sorry to Bother You was also a very good weird movie
it's
that
not
we
in
did
here,
not get
unfortunately.
to. We did not get to.
We definitely want to see it, though.
But as a weird movie fan, I felt like I would be wrong to leave that one out, and I gotta get to that one too.
Definitely.
So.
Are we going to have to make a part 3 of this?
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a part 3.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make
Still
a part
got
3.
a lot of good movies in here.
Alright, so hopefully, it looks like there's enough that this is going to make this enough for one more video.
Yeah.
So we're just going to pause it here, and then we're going to do the rest of this in the next video.
Sounds good.
Alright, so we'll see you
lied.
guys.
It's not just 2.
Yeah,
it's
we
gonna
lied.
Be a 3rd one.
Oh my gosh, we saw a lot of movies.
We saw a lot of movies.
Alright, so until then, we'll take care. Bye.